So a few months ago, I saw on Instagram how Supacent posted on her live how she wasn't happy with her current living situation, and by what I mean by happy is like she didn't like the excessive spending or the model decor that she actually wasn't able to use, like accent pieces that were just kind of there, but things that weren't like originally a part of like her palette of success. Like she was just talking about how she was doing things, and like in the process of doing them, I guess she just felt like she had to because she had money, so she was like flexing, like not necessarily flexing, but like, well, it's like, well, I have it, so the expectation is for me to level up in this way or in that way or whatever. So she was making all of these moves, but she was like reflecting and was like, oh, when I was in this apartment, that was a 2-bedroom, like I loved it the most, etc., etc. But what I didn't like about the situation was the neighborhood. If it was in a different neighborhood, then I would like the apartment. And shout out to Pink Book Lessons for inspiring me to like elaborate on this topic, because she's actually the person who initially spoke about it, and I'm at work and I was just inspired to just elaborate because I think it's more to the points that she was making about the subject. So anyway, Supa was talking about this apartment and how she loved it more than her current situation, and how she wants to kind of like dumb it down and simplify her life or whatever. And I think that the element that's missing to the whole subject is minimalism. Like as African American people, we're not programmed to be minimal as far as how we live, like how we dress, the cars that we're into. Like we're kind of programmed to be like extreme and extravagant, but most of us don't kind of like come back to the younger generations and be like, okay, yeah, once I hit this mark, it didn't really mean much. Or some of them do, but it doesn't actually resonate. So you end up with us constantly in this space where we're like chasing something that doesn't exist on a monetary level or on a tangible level. And I think that minimalism, like what it does is the objective is for you. It's actually a layer of objectives. But from what I've gotten from it, it's like clear your space, clear your mind, focus on the things that are important to you. And so I feel like that's not a part of our lineage until we like do really well, hit a plateau, and then we want to like go to India or whatever. But if it's a part of like who you are as you're progressing, like you'll always be grounded because your foundation is grounded in the more rich things of life, like of life, not lives, but like family, love, connection, as opposed to like your cars, how many houses you have, how many chains you have, that kind of stuff. Sorry y'all, my ponytail is just a disruption today, but it's whatever. So yeah, so I feel like if I was Supa's friend, I would really ask her, well, what are the things that you really enjoyed prior to becoming famous? Like the things that honestly, genuinely, without much effort brought you joy. And if she said like dancing or like cooking, then I would tell her to try to like slowly get into that, and then that could flourish into something else. Because I was watching another video from, what's her name, Stormy Wellington. It was about her having like this bout of depression, even at like the height of her career and everything. And I feel like it's all a reflection of what people are focusing on. And when you're on the grind, you focus on the grind, so like you're excited because you're hitting those goals on that grind. But after you maybe hit half of it or most of it or all of it, and you just kind of keep going, you're in this space where you're like, oh well, now what do I do? Like now what's gonna satisfy me? Like what's next? And I think the only way to overcome that kind of like up and down of depression or feeling like you're not progressing is to always keep your eye on like your why. Like, what's your why? And so for me, you know, family, legacy, building like strong connections with my friends, and you know, memories. That's like the height of the things that I value. So for me, as long as everything that I do has some level of that in it, then I feel like I'm successful in my life, because those are the things that I value the most. In the process of that, I still want to like have tangible things, you know, to where I can go to Paris whenever I want to go to Paris, or Jamaica whenever I want to go to Jamaica, or to like my retreat home, or my summer house or whatever. Like, I want those things, but they don't have to look a certain way or be a certain way. Like, I want them to be my way. And I think with Supa, like, she got money so fast and she got so caught up in being a boss that she didn't really like have the opportunity to reflect on the things that she wanted to invest in. And so she spent money faster than maybe she would have if she had that time to like sit and reflect. But I think she's a brilliant person, a brilliant woman, a brilliant Black woman. And I think that she's a younger woman. I'm 34. I want to say she's in her late 20s. She might be 30. I'm not sure. But either way, like, I feel like she's just in her prime. So that puts her in a space where things are a lot more oversatiated for her. Like, she feels like she has to have this and has to have that and has to do this because of that age bracket. And I also feel like, and simultaneously, she's brighter than her age group, which is why she has these moments on live where she's like, oh, where, you know, like, I'm not satisfied and I'm reflecting and these are the reasons why. And I just wanted to like elaborate, because I feel like it's a lot of people that are in that space, but they're not tapping into the idea that minimalism can really help you direct where you're trying to go with your life, what you want to do with yourself, how you want to build your future, what you want it to look like, and how you want to control that, and how you can be like an alchemist in your world or whatever. And I think that it's not a priority because, you know, like kicking it, flexing, having your body on point, having the latest, this, that, and the other, those things are like taking height in our community. But in the same breath, you have a lot of people like in the younger population that are like not subscribing to those forms of success, or you know, those ways of living. And I think that Supa is like just hitting that way sooner, which is really good for her, because that means she's going to be wealthy, and, you know, for her entire life. And then her children and her grandchildren are also going to be wealthy, because she's already considering what's too much, what's not enough. And I'm not saying that she needs to be tight with her money. I'm more so saying that she's going to expand on everything that she does, because her thought process is so much greater than her age group. And just to end it on the fact that I think that minimalism is a huge part of what our population in all age brackets are missing. Because if we had our eye on the prize, which was, you know, our foundation, like our family, our home, stability, financial stability, like if those things were at the heart of everything we focused on, and those things were first, we would spend so much less money on retail and flexing, and we would be a whole lot happier inside, because the stability will be there. And then you have that mental room to decide, like, who am I? What do I like? What do I enjoy? You know, and you can focus on those things instead of being like, I'm going to be a workaholic and own 52 Hiltons, or whatever the situation is. You might want to find your way financially, find your way to financial freedom financially, and then from there you can say, well, how can I build the lifestyle that I want, that will lead me to a certain level of happiness. And even with you having aesthetically the lifestyle that you want, you still have to have daily and weekly routine habits that help you maintain that, because we're people and we need to be gassed up. We need vitamins, and those things don't just come in forms of pharmaceuticals. It comes in forms of like yoga, working out, walking with a friend, having coffee weekly with your elders, you know, journaling. Like if you don't have some sort of outlet, then you will always be searching for something. And so I just feel like minimalism and having outlets are the greatest forms to like build success and to maintain it, because you never really fall off. Like a good quick example is Khalees. Like Khalees came on, she's, you know, she was my bitch, she's with the shit, she's tight, whatever. And then as she progressed and she got into life and she started realizing what was important, now she has like a farm and is taking care of her husband who like is super ill, and like she's just this big grown woman in the sense that like she's so figured out in a lot of ways, and she's dealing with a lot of stuff. So shout out to Khalees, and my prayers are with her and her family. But my point is, it's just like, you know, look at people who seem like they have it figured out in a lot of ways. Like, and I don't mean like in a visual way, but like they just have peace in their heart, like Angela Bassett. And, you know, rest in peace with Cicely Tyson. Like some people that just were, they just had a smile on the inside, like you could see it or whatever. They're doing a lot of stuff right in their lifestyle, not just in their success level, but the type of lives that they live. So like, don't study me because my shit is all over the place. Don't study me because yeah, I'm all over the place. But study the greats. Study the people that when you see, they just give you peace. Like Viola Davis, she seems like she has some shit figured out. You know, what's her name? Lisa Bonet. She seems like she has some shit figured out, even though she's going through a divorce and all that. But my point is, like, Erykah Badu, certain people have reached certain levels of peace, and, you know, the general population might think that they're weird or whatever, but they know to, like, retreat. They know to focus on certain things. They know to unplug. Like, so I'm really glad that Supa brought this topic up. I'm glad that people were talking about it, because it was something that was on my heart, but in a different way. And now I feel like it's super relatable to like the millennials, because you guys, to the millennials, because you guys can relate to her. So I feel like bringing minimalism to the millennials through Supa's situation was like hella relevant, and it can be useful if you're listening. So see you next time.